Good morning. My name is Happy Oasis, and I'm here with Marci Shimoff in her beautiful home up on a hilltop in San Anselmo, California, on a gorgeous October autumnal day. And Marci Shimoff is the best-selling author of Happy for No Reason, Love for No Reason, Chicken Soup for the Woman's Soul, Chicken Soup for the Mother Soul, Chicken Soup for the Single Soul. That's a lot of chicken soup.
I cooked up a lot of chicken soup.
And so, metaphorical chicken soup. Marci and I are here today to share some of her secrets of happiness.
Well, first I want to welcome you. I'm so
Thank
happy
you.
to be here with all of you, and I'm so happy to be here with you that in honor of the occasion I made my morning ritual breakfast. I made some up for you, and that is a raw green drink. So cheers, welcome, and I'm so delighted to be part of anything you're doing, Happy.
To your health.
Thank you
so much.
And to all of you.
Scrumptious. That is a splendid idea. If you would please tell us, what is it that makes you feel most alive?
That's actually really easy for me to answer, because what makes me feel the most alive is any time that I feel connected to God, to Source, to myself. And most often that's when I'm either meditating, walking in nature, being in nature in some way, dancing, moving my body, singing, chanting, anything that really deeply connects me with that, my more spiritual part of my life, which ideally would be all the time. So my ideal is to really expand that feeling of connectedness to life, to God, to the universe, so that it's 24/7, which, by the way, is my definition of love for no reason and happy for no reason. Love for no reason means having an inner state of peace and well-being that doesn't depend on your circumstances. So ideally it would be that I'm living in that state all the time.
Beautiful. Yes. I am so grateful to be in your presence. We have a special connection. I felt very honored to be one of the very few people selected to be featured in your book, Happy for No Reason. I believe that the story, The Smiling Man, was one of some people's favorite stories, and you said it really touched your heart.
It did. You know, when I was working on Happy for No Reason, I interviewed hundreds of unconditionally happy people. It started with 100. I called them my Happy 100, and you were one of my Happy 100. And I was looking for happy for no reason, by the way. What I mean by that is living with an inner state of peace and well-being that doesn't depend on circumstances. So it's that inner state of happiness. It doesn't mean you're walking around 24/7 with a grin on your face. It doesn't mean that you don't also feel sadness or grief or anger or frustration. It means that despite any kind of fluctuations in moods like that, you have an inner state of peace and well-being. And I know you know this because you were one of my Happy 100. Your story was so beautiful, the Smiling Man story. I actually don't want to tell it. I want you to tell it, if you would, because it's such a beautiful story, and it really has touched so many hundreds of thousands of people, millions of people who I believe have gotten to read the book or hear the story. So would you mind sharing it?
The essence of it is that when I was in Bangladesh and there was a famine, my bus happened to drive right into a famine caused by a flood. There was one man who came up onto our bus with all the rest of the mayhem around. I was so sad and distraught that I said to this man, "How can you smile in this circumstance?" And he said to me, in perfect English, "Madame, smiling is all I have to give." He said, "Come with me." So we went and we sang songs to children as they were dying, because there was nothing that we could do with money. Money had no utility when there was no food to buy and there were no stores. So all we had to give was our loving kindness and our joy and our songs. And child after child died in the pouring rain. As night started to strike at the end of the day, I started to feel hungry. I appealed to the universe, realizing I also am going to die. But the rain kept pouring when I appealed to God. And then I said, if I can live, and I'm in any circumstance that's less difficult than that, then I will be a happy oasis unto the world.
That is really a powerful story. And now?
Well, now, years later, of course, I wrote the book Bliss Conscious Communication, and I'm stuck with being happy.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean, just as you said, it doesn't
Yeah.
mean I'm happy 24/7. However, I do believe happiness can be a habit, and I do have a happy habit. I'm glad that I have the full spectrum of emotions, and I like to go into those emotions fully. When I feel sad, to really feel it.
Right.
And then when we go into it without hesitating at the door, then we can go out the other door much more rapidly and much more with a sense of relief and a sense of fullness that we really experience that.
Well, I love your story. It's so beautiful and so touching.
Thank you.
And I love what you said about happiness being a habit. Because that's exactly what I discovered in all of my research, is that we have a myth in our society, the myth of I'll be happy when. And I know that I have my own version of I'll be happy when, and I know you have your own version of I'll be happy when. You know, it's I'll be happy when I get a better job, or I'll be happy when I make more money, or I'll be happy when I find the right partner, or whatever that is. The very popular one is I'll be happy when I lose 20 pounds. And the reality is, according to the science and the research, that those things do not make us any happier. That in fact, 40% of the world's wealthiest people on the Forbes list of the wealthiest are more depressed than the average person.
Isn't it fascinating?